Yeah, they opened the season on Sunday in Seattle. Seahawks played in the Super Bowl a few years ago. Super Bowl 40 were beaten by Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then Ben came back a few years later and won a second Super Bowl. But ever since then, he has not been doing much winning, and he has been in a courtroom or two. We welcome Steve Moskowitz in, as we always do on Thursdays, to mix sports and the law. It was last Friday, right after you win last week, that the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, reduced Ben's suspension from 6 games to 4 games. Are you on board with that?
Very much so. First of all, I don't think he should have been suspended at all. Remember, he was never convicted of anything. And by the way, he wasn't even tried.
Yeah.
In both cases, the police investigated and said, there's not enough evidence here to charge, and it went away. And it's just, I think, outrageous the commissioner did it all. And then I know other people like Terry Bradshaw were upset about the drop in games. But remember, all prisons have a policy. Good behavior reduces the sentence. So if you can go to prison and you're a good boy in prison, they'll reduce your time. What did Ben do that was so bad that somebody should complain that 2 games were knocked off the 6-game suspension?
And Bradshaw should know about federal prisons because one of his parents is in one, right? that's what he proclaims as part of his bit. I'm not sure. You are right. This is the first time that the commissioner suspended a player under his personal conduct policy that has not even been convicted. As you state, he's never even been charged of a crime. So you and I have talked about that at length. He should not have gotten the 6 games initially. But what has he really done since this happened last March to right now to reduce if he said back in whenever he did it in April right after the draft, it's 6 games, what has Ben done in the ensuing months to have it reduced by a sizable portion of a 16-game NFL schedule?
Then you essentially go into the prison theory where the idea of, prison is either punishment or changing behavior. And if you're changing behavior, you reward. And the whole idea, again, in prison, if you're a good person, you do something in prison, and your actions are fairly limited in prison, but you do something in prison to show good behavior, the time's always reduced.
And we shall see where the commissioner goes with this during the next CBA negotiation. I think the players are going to make a point about this personal conduct policy. But one stipulation that the commissioner's given himself, these broad-based powers, is that Ben Roethlisberger, while he's suspended, must stay away from the Steelers completely. He can have no contact with the coaches, front office. He can't even go into the building. He's going to take over as the quarterback of this football team again in mid-October, and they think they have a Super Bowl winner. How does the commissioner get away with it? It's one thing you can't play on Sunday, Ben, but it's the Steelers employ him. He can't even go to the building and do his job.
Once again, if you're creative, you can think of all types of punishment. The commissioner said you can't watch it on TV, can't read it in the newspaper, can't do anything. Basically, the commissioner said that he's cutting him off. He's really removing him from the system for those games. And if he practiced, it wouldn't be as bad because at least he'd be up to speed.
Now, this is the second time Roethlisberger's been accused of sexual assault, neither one criminally, obviously. The first one actually happened in Lake Tahoe at a celebrity tournament, and there was a civil trial, a civil proceeding after. There was never a criminal investigation of that. Has that ever been resolved, or will we ever know that if he wrote that young lady a check up at the hotel in
Normally
South
what
Tahoe?
happens for cases like that, a check is written and there's a confidentiality agreement.
All right. And you are a Terry Bradshaw fan.
I like Terry, and I was disappointed that he said that.
Well, he's got 4 Super Bowls to Roethlisberger's 2. Maybe he wants to see that.
Steve Ben's younger.
He is younger, and he'll be back. He'll be back October the 17th to take on the Cleveland Browns. Steve, thank you.
My pleasure.
By late October, we will know if the San Jose Earthquakes will qualify for the MLS playoffs for the first time since they re-entered the league as an expansion team back in 2008. Up next, we are joined in studio by defender Jason Hernandez, who has been